Hello, everyone. Welcome to the study group, and today we have matched to lead us with the article Giving and Receiving. So let's start with the match. Thank you.
Hello, good evening, everyone. Good evening to all the masters present. Master Chi. I'm just mentioning it according to how I see it on the screen. Okay, Master Chi, Master Yolin, and of course, Master Yo Wei. Good evening, and good evening, everyone in the study group. It's nice to see familiar faces. Yeah, so tonight, our topic is on giving and receiving. It's from Buddha Dharma, Pure and Simple. Let me share first my screen before we do the reading. Okay, hang on. I should do this right this time because there are no notes. All right, here we go. Hang on. There. Okay. All right, so the title is Giving and Receiving, Buddha Dharma, Pure and Simple, by Venerable Master Xing Yun. So first, I think it would be best if we read the text. So may I ask someone to read the first paragraph? Okay. May I call Peter, please?
Giving and receiving. Joyful giving is a teaching in Buddhism. It is usually regarded as a lessening of what we have once we give. However, if one fully understands the notion of giving and receiving, one will realize that it is in giving that one receives. It is just as those who are willing to give by practicing the four means of embracing: generosity, kind words, altruism, and empathy, they will receive joy, good affinities, and friendship in return. Therefore, giving and receiving have a cause and effect relationship. They are relative and interactive with one another. The willingness to give means one has a magnanimous heart. How can one be willing to give and allow others to receive without a heart of gratitude and affinity for people?
All right, thank you very much. May I ask Daryl?
Should I share the screen so people can see that also?
Oh, yeah, okay, please. So let me stop sharing here. There, that's better.
Okay.
All right, so maybe the next two paragraphs, may I ask Daryl to read?
In Buddhism, to give is to practice generosity. Generosity can be likened to a Naigorodha, Nyagroda tree, Indian banyan tree. A single seed yields 10 fruits. 10 seeds yield hundreds of fruits, and hundreds of seeds yield tens of millions of fruits. If one wishes for longevity, prosperity, family harmony, good health, intelligence, and wisdom, one must first reflect: did I plant seeds in springtime? If not, how can there be a harvest in autumn? People today are reluctant to sow seeds, only wishing to receive without any effort. However, wealth will not suddenly fall from the sky. Neither will gold just appear on the ground. Without hard work and labor, how can there be a harvest? To reap what is desired, one must first make an effort.
All right, the next paragraph, kindly read, Oj.
While giving may se- while giving may seem to benefit others, it is actually the self that gains. The act of giving is not limited to gold, silver, or money. The giving of a good word or a smile will be returned with praise or a smile too. The ability to serve and help others shows that one is wealthy in generosity. If each person has this inner wealth, instead of coveting and seeking the wealth of others, seeds of joyful giving will be sown, and a good harvest is sure to follow.
All right, thank you. Ube, kindly read that dialogue with Yama, that section,
Okay.
please. Thank you.
There is an interesting story about Yama presiding over a trial in hell. John, you have been kind and charitable in your past life. You may be reborn as a human. George, you built bridges and constructed roads in your past life. You too may be reborn as a human. Seeing how everyone got to be reborn as a human, a monkey sitting nearby begged Yama, "Please, just for once, let me be a human too." A monkey wants to be a human, thought Yama. He then said, "Guards, pull out this monkey's fur hair by hair." Do I continue? Having only a few strands of fur plucked, the monkey was already rolling around on the ground, squeaking in pain. Yama then chuckled. How can you become a human if you are unwilling to give up even a strand of your fur?
All right, thank you. The last paragraph, kindly read, Paul. I think you're muted.
There. When walking, the next step forward cannot be taken without giving up the previous step. Plants in the backyard will not sprout new buds if unwilling to give up wilted leaves. A city cannot improve its appearance and rise to the standards of a metropolis if it is unwilling to give up unlicensed buildings. Therefore, the wondrous practice of giving and receiving can be applied endlessly. In giving something good to others, one will receive something good in return. After giving up the unwholesome parts of one's personality, success will be possible. After giving up afflictions, sorrow, ignorance, and delusions, a new state in life will naturally be attained.
Okay, thank you for that. So I'll share back. Okay, all right. Thanks for the clear reading. And so for tonight, instead of having the usual lecture that I do usually when I present in the study group, I would like to make it more lively in the sense that it will be hopefully more interactive. That means there will be a lot of questions and answers from you. So, but the questions are really very easy, okay? All right, and you are not forced to make comments or answers, but only if you want. Feel free to say, raise your hand or just unmute your mic, okay? And so the topic is about giving and receiving. So I only have very few slides, okay? Less than 5. So this slide that you see now, all right? For those, I think Master Chi has seen this slide before because this is just a recycled slide, but then it asks the question, what have I given to blank? The blank there would be the recipient of your gift. It could be a person, like maybe your friend, your colleague, your superior, maybe even a stranger. And so the question here is asking, what gift have you given? Right? So I want you to pause for a bit and try to think of this question. What have I given? What have you given? What gift have you given? Maybe in the last year, maybe over Christmas, maybe just today. What have you given? So anyone who would like to have a go at it, you can just unmute your mic and tell us what you have given. Yes, Peter, please.
I think over the weekend, my wife now, she got into a car accident. Yeah, so she fell off her scooter, and then she messaged me, and I came over, and so we got everything fixed up. At the end, she said that the moment that she saw my car coming and that she saw me in person, that all her fear just went away. So then I thought, remember, Venerable Master Xing Yun and the Buddha teach us to give others.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the last part.
What was I up to? So I
Venerable
gave her
yeah.
fearless. Also, Venerable Master Xing Yun, I think it was.
I'm sorry, I'm having problems with the signal. Sorry, I didn't hear the last part.
I think 2 weeks ago, we had an article about giving fearlessness. Is my
Giving
mic okay?
fearlessness. Yeah, giving fearlessness. Did I get that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And is my audio okay?
Yes, now I can hear you.
Okay. And then just quickly, in the afternoon, her brother came over because he's never had he had to present something to his German customers. And so he came over and asked me a few questions, and I told him about what I knew about the German culture and how to I think format his meeting. And then afterwards, he was a lot more confident about the meeting that's gonna proceed the following day. So I thought again, I was giving her fearlessness.
All right, the gift of fearlessness. Thank you very much, Peter. How about the rest? Anybody else who would like to share? What gift have you given? From the group?
Okay, can I share something?
Okay, please.
So just recently we had a typhoon, right? So we don't have electricity. So after almost 2 weeks, or I think about 2 weeks after, when I went out of our house, I saw the electric linesman climbing up the wire, the poles. So I saw they're trying to cut some branches. So first I offered my pruning saw, which is a long pole, which you can use to cut the branches. And then me and my wife, we already prepared something to give to the linesman. So there's a box of goodies, and my wife prepared ang pao red envelopes for the linesman. So there were 3 of them. So we gave it to them, and in fact, they were so happy. So some people say that if you do these things, you are, how do you say that? Encouraging corruption, because they will fix those who give to them first. But for me, we gave it to them when they were here, and then we gave it as an appreciation. I did not give it to them by telling them, oh, I'll give this to you after you fix our electricity. So it was given without any condition. So whether or not they will be able to fix it, it's already given. It's not tied to any condition. So for me, it's really a gift in appreciation of their effort, their work over the holidays, over Christmas. So I guess this is one way of differentiating also why we give. So I know some people, they give after their electricity was fixed. So in our case, we give when we saw them, we gave it to them already. It was only after, good thing, in a few hours only, that our electricity was fixed. Yeah, and the linesman were very thankful when they saw me again. They really thanked me again for the appreciation that we showed them.
Right. Okay. Thank you very much for your sharing, Erwin. So from what I heard, you first gave a pruning saw, a box of goodies, and then those cute tiny little red envelopes that Chinese give, right? The ang pao. Okay. And yes, I understand that it can also be, it can meet some criticism when you give, right? Especially with the little red envelopes, and some would be quick to judge and say that it can encourage corruption, but you were also quick to point out that it was really a gift, right? And you, in your best judgment, would know that it wasn't done to encourage corruption, but it was done out of appreciation of the duty and the task that they were able to do. Okay, and it's not a bribe or something like that. Okay, good. Any other who would like to share? What have you given?
Hi, good
What
evening.
gift have you given? Hello, Daryl.
Hello,
Okay,
hello. Is my audio clear? Yeah. Mhm.
it's
Okay.
very good.
Good evening. I want to share. I've given. Yesterday, I cleaned our restroom. The restroom in our house. So I cleaned the floor. I cleaned the toilet. I cleaned the mirror. So I think I've given my family members convenience. So that is what I would like to share. I clean our restroom, so I gave them convenience and also comfortability. So yes, that's what I've given.
Yes, so to give our family members convenience, it is something that warms the heart. And we are happy to be able to do that, right? Okay, maybe, yes. One more for this question, one more.
Me.
Who says me? I'm hearing a me.
Me.
Oh, Master Yo. Okay, Master Yolin.
Me. Recently, I just relieve my stress with my painting. So after I
Alright.
paint a lot, and luckily people would like to accept it, so I just share my painting. And sometimes people will give me, like, send me some picture, and they say, you draw this for me, and then I just try. I didn't really have confidence if I can do it, so I tried it. And at the end of the day, I found out it seemed like I'm actually giving, but I learned and gained a lot from there, because it gave me opportunity to practice, and I just realized, oh, I can actually do it. So I share this. I just draw it this afternoon.
Yes, it has a Chinese character. What does it say?
So it's like
Full wealth.
the Chinese New Year feel. People said, someone sent me this, and I mean the picture for reference, and then I tried to do it, and
Wow.
I actually did it during my meeting, and I really feel bored during the meeting. I really fall asleep, and then I think, oh, maybe I can do something to make me awake. This is the secret of the benefit of having Zoom meeting.
Yeah.
Multitasking. So I just want to share, giving and receiving I thought it is not just one way, but actually both. I give my time, I give my patience on my words, but then I receive more than what I actually give. Thank you.
Right. Okay. Thank you so much, Master Yolin, for sharing your gift of talent. You're painting a lot, and I'm happy to say I'm one of the recipients. For those who are my Facebook friends, I mean, you may have seen me post some of the paintings. So thank you very much. Okay, I would like to answer the question also, if I may share just a bit. So what have I given? So actually, sometime the day after the typhoon, no, that was December 17 in Cebu, and in the States, it was December 16. That day, sadly, a very, very, very close cousin died because of a perforated intestine. And because, you know, there was no signal in Cebu, very hard to connect. And because they are very devout Catholics, and because they are in the States, they really would want to have for those who, the Filipinos here could probably relate, they would really want to have the novena prayer for the dead. But because they didn't have anyone to do that for them from Cebu, because there was really bad signal, they were able to have that novena prayer just last week, which was, if you count, the 40 days, tradition thing, the 40th day is also happening soon. So it's going to be overlapping, right? Because they really desperately, my relatives wanted to have a novena. And so they were trying to look for, in Cebuano, we call it a manabtan, someone, an old lady or an elderly who usually conducts a novena, and prays for the dead. But because we couldn't find, and they were really very desperate for one, so I just volunteered. Can you imagine me doing that? So I just volunteered. I said, okay, I will do it for you, just, to somehow give them a bit of peace and solace on this very difficult time. And because she was also very close to me, so every 11 o'clock in the morning, I do the prayers and the singing. So if it rains every 11 o'clock, you know na why it's raining, because Mage is singing. And so, yeah, so I gave my time. I prayed, and it's overlapping. So including the 40th day prayers, I'm also doing it. Apparently, either they really have no choice, or they're just very glad to really go through the novena. So that's my gift of time and my gift of presence. So that's what I have given them. Okay. All right, let's go to the next slide. Hearing your thoughts, right, on what you have given, I'm so happy that you have, smiling, beaming faces as you were trying to recall and narrate your sentiments, your experiences as you were giving person here is cooking. He's trying to do all the things. He's probably cleaning the house for his family, or probably ironing the clothes, right? So I'm glad that there's none of that tonight. Everyone seemed to be very happy, sharing, fearlessness, sharing convenience, sharing a box of goodies and the ang pao and paintings. And I'm sure you have your own recollection of the gifts that you have given. And I am also quite positive to think that when you recall the gifts that you have given, you have a happy face, just like what I saw just now in the group. All right. Yes, Master Yowei has a very good smile. I am tempted to call her in the next in the next question. All right, since it's about giving and receiving, here's the second question. What have I received from? So from can be a person, no? Can be your loved one, can also be your enemy, maybe friends before, now enemy and friends again. Okay, it can be a cousin, it can be a subordinate, a superior. And so in other words, I'm simply asking, what are you grateful for? What gift have you been given that you are so grateful for? Think back the past year, last Christmas, or maybe just today. What are you grateful for? Anyone from the group who would like to share? What gift have you been given? What have you received that you are so grateful for? Who would like to share first? I see
Mitch.
many smiling faces. That means you're able to remember something.
Hi, Midge.
Yes,
Ube
hello.
here.
Ube,
Yeah.
please.
Okay. For me,
Hi.
I am grateful for getting into this class every Wednesday, and for the friendship of Venerable Yolin, for learning about Buddhism, because it has changed or shifted my perspectives, and it's a great gift.
Yes. Okay, thank you very much. And I'm sure everybody else here is so happy to have you in this group also and to hear your thoughts. Okay, anybody else? I see an apple.
Can I
Is that a
share?
heart, Daryl? Okay.
Can I share?
Anybody else? What are you grateful for?
Paul,
Yes,
Paul
who
wants
is
to
that?
share. Paul.
Paul, okay. Go, Paul.
Yeah, I hope my internet is stable. So yeah, I think I'll be forever grateful for Kuya Arvin since 2013. When he organized the meditation class and the English class here in Cebu. That's when I got to learn more about Buddhism and meditation. And also for Kuya Oj for inviting me back by adding me to the Facebook group for the online class so that I'll be back on track. Yeah, these two I'll be forever grateful for. Thank you.
Right. Thank you, Paul. And it's good to know that we have special mention of the people who are instrumental in bringing the group together and sustaining the group. Sir Erwin, Oj, Pastor Yolin has been mentioned. Okay, what else? What have you received? What are you most grateful for? What gift have you received that you are truly grateful for?
I share something.
Yes, Venerable, please do.
Last week, I'm so happy that we received an email from Nantian Institute that they already accept our applicant from Philippines to study in Nantian Institute. We have new friends. Of course, match continue because I really very touched when she is saying that, Shifu, can I continue? I say, yes, please. So she continue, even though it's just for her knowledge, she said. And also we very happy. I'm so happy. Finally, one of the members from this group, Mr. Och, he also willing to take this course. And also we have Attorney Lenny in the beginning of the group chat, the couples, the partner, two of them, they joined, but maybe now recently they are too busy for their own law, their firm, so maybe they not join, but three of them. So I really hope, I'm so happy that if we can have more people to join the Nantian Institute, not really for the certificate. it's really for humanistic Buddhism research. And also the most important is this is the first and only certificate for humanistic Buddhism study, just for humanistic Buddhism, and it's in Australia. Okay, and last week, I'm so happy many of you even asked about the community service or the community check-in of the Nantian Institute. So we hope that this kind of flow, I hope the flow will continue, not only in Philippines. We should step out from Philippines so that we know what others people thought about Buddhism, especially in the Western country. Their thought is really different. And that is how we can improve ourselves. Because more on the Eastern people, we might more passive, wait for someone to ask the questions or wait for someone to answer the questions. But in different areas, it's really different. So I'm so grateful. From the groups, we have more members to join not because of Nantian Institute, it's really because of you want to know more about humanistic Buddhism. So this one is because of the pandemic, so they tend to be the online class. So if you like to know more details, I'm promoting the Nantian Institute certificate. They really love me because I always recommend different people go study. Ube, you have questions?
Yes, Chef Wu. So this time, Nantian will accept all online.
Yes, yes.
Because
At this moment.
I checked also the website and I saw that the courses, even the one with the most simple requirement, stated that there has to be a physical on campus. So this time, no need.
No, we already
No
go
need.
for online for 2 years.
Oh.
Our match already complete for the master. She even complete. We go online for 2 years. Also, Louisa Sijie, she also complete. Louisa Sijie is getting the certificate. And also we have Professor Manikan. Cecilia Manikan, if you're familiar her, she's the whole branch teacher. She's a ballet dancer before. So this one is really to know more, not only just for discussion, but when you really go the proper study, the thoughts were really totally different. Okay. So if anything, you can private message me because the topic for today is I'm feel grateful and happy that I received such a good news from Philippines and from the Australia. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Master. Okay.
Chapo, there's another question. How long will the study in Certificate of Humanistic Buddhism take?
Okay, for the certificate, this one is how long? Is it months?
If you want to take the certificate course, a graduate certificate course in humanistic Buddhism, if my math is correct, you can take up to 3 to 4 subjects, right? And that 3 to 4 subjects, the maximum is 4 subjects. And you can drag that 4 subjects into at least 1 year. Is that correct, Master? 1 semester? That's the part I forgot because in my case, I extended. So I continued to have the Masters in Applied Buddhist Studies. So that's when I get overlaps. But I'm quite sure you can take at least 4 subjects. And if I'm not mistaken, you can extend it to a year to take the certificate courses. Anyway, if you have,
for the details, we really can discuss for this one. How long it takes is really, it can be as long as the course, the subject is open for enrollment, then you can join for this spring semester and the summer semester. So it really depends. The difficulty is for those work, maybe you need to reserve 1 week, because in 1 whole week, they will meet online. And then 3 weeks for you to do your assignment. And then another subject again. Also 1 week, they will meet, depends on the schedule. Sometimes it's 1 whole day, but you need to watch the video. And then after the video, they will have the discussion of 1 hour. That is all for 1 day. And then sometimes it depends on the speaker. Sometimes the speaker invites from other country. So it depends on their times. So sometimes we start the class by 8 o'clock. And sometimes we start the class by 6 o'clock. AM, not PM. So it really depends on the speaker. And then you can have, you watch your own video, the video that they will send to you. You even can watch earlier. So the time is better, but the difficult is during the discussions for 1 hour. Is if you really have to be absent, then you really need to like ask for the approval and all those things. So each subject you need to write article. It depends. I think 2,000 plus, sometimes 3,000 plus, something like that. Sometimes 5. Is it a time write 5,000? I don't remember. Match or maybe the cost of match. It depends. Okay, so we are not here to talk about that. You can private message me, even though I hope more people to join. Auntie Marlene wish to join, but because of her eyes, so she cannot stay on the PCs too long. So never mind, Auntie Marlene, we wait for you next time, maybe for audio. Thank you.
Thank you, Master Chi. And I because we're talking about it just very quickly, and I just want to say this officially. So I am grateful for Master Chi for being relentless in trying to let me study in NTI. So I'm thankful for the pandemic because I am able to study online. Okay, I'm grateful for that. All right, so we have heard the answers from what gifts have we given and what gifts we have received. And hearing the text tonight, we learned that giving and receiving, it's actually a relationship, right? So it's actually reciprocal, okay? The more you give, the more you are able to receive. Oops, not that yet. Okay, so the more you give, the more you are able to receive, right? But what does that mean when you say the more you give, the more you are able to receive? Okay, so engaging in these questions is actually not all about logical epistemic truths, nor is it an intellectual analysis, but a practice of self-reflection that unveils a depth of insight. And so the more you give, the more you are able to receive. Okay, what does that mean? When you give, for example, in the sharing earlier, when when Peter gave fearlessness, okay, in return, he could see the convenience that he was able to give and to offer to the other person. And seeing that, you know, it somehow warms, perhaps it warms his heart knowing that he was able to offer some sense of help. So he gave something, and at the same time, he also gained something in return. Okay. The paintings that Master Yolin gave, for all we know, somehow probably also encouraged other people to do the same, that, hey, maybe I can also do this. I can also paint, right? So that could encourage people. And by giving the paintings to others, Master was also developing affinities, because people saw the painting, they liked it, and they're saying, hey, who painted that? Can I also ask? May I have one of the paintings? And so they are given, right? And they are very thankful to Master. And somehow affinities are starting to flourish there, right? Seeds have been planted and they are slowly starting to grow. Okay. Although having said that, I just want to throw in a word of caution, because when you say the more you give, the more you receive, I don't want it to appear like a clinging to the receiving part, right? Because when you say the more you give, it goes back to you 10,000 folds. Now, I don't want us to give thinking that it will come back to us in so many folds. That's also a sense of an attachment. That's why I forgot who it was, but just now someone mentioned about the middle path, right? So when we give, we must not be too clingy on the giving that it somehow bloats our ego that we are the giver. And at the same time, just because we are given, or rather giving, we are expecting for things in return just because we are giving, right? So these are the two extremes, and we have to deviate from such extremes and stay on the middle path. And that's when the goodwill of giving remains, the purity of giving remains. Okay, and yeah, so the more we give, it is true that we receive something, but what we receive is so much more than just material possessions, but it is something that warms the heart. It is something that is not quantified or measured simply by material things. And this is what tells us. And in fact, he asks the question, have we planted the seeds? Okay. What seeds have we planted? Do we expect a great harvest? What kind of harvest are we expecting? The thing is, people nowadays, we sometimes are too caught up with just the receiving part. And that's not also very good. Okay. So I think you, in your best judgment, would know yourself if you have been too overwhelmed with just the receiving part, or did you also do your share of planting, of giving? What kind of seeds have you sown? Are you able to make a harvest? Okay. When you sow seeds of generosity, when you sow seeds of patience, it goes back to you. And being generous, okay, does not just mean being generous of material possessions, but also being generous of your smile, being generous of a kind word, being generous of good thoughts that will ultimately ripple down in our everyday actions. Okay, so giving and receiving. So I think this study group might benefit more if there are questions that we can talk about, because this is a very close and personal topic that we can relate to. But from my end, that's all I have to say for now. Okay, there's a question or there's a chat. I'm looking at two laptops and I'm okay here. 4 messages. Yeah, from Master Chi, generous to answer the question of the speaker, also action of giving. Yeah, I'm generous in asking questions also.
Ovin,
Okay.
I thought you have questions.
I'll stop sharing now.
Me? No, it was the Chinese word. Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
The word K.
I'm also curious about that. I actually asked my teacher, I said, what's the nuance between the two of them? And then he just said, I only know this.
Which
But
one?
what is this? He did not reply anymore. So I don't know what to say.
Which one did your teacher know? The one I know?
Yeah, but when I asked what is that and did not reply anymore.
Yeah. So for maybe there's some hidden
Maybe
deeper meaning.
Peter can answer first. Peter and Auntie Marlene, you can answer first. What is the difference between 舍 给? In Chinese, there is in Chinese. I write in the chat box. The Chinese is 给. 舍. Because the topic for today, for tonight, in Chinese is called 舍得. 舍 means you something you give. Yes, in English, only the word give. But the important is the intentions. Auntie Marlene, maybe you can use a proper translation for 舍得 and give. Unmute yourself first.
I think the difference between 舍 and 给, which 舍 is something you are kind of like attached to, and then you give. It's something like it's dear to you or you're attached to, close to you, very important to you, and then you give. You are willing to give. But in 给, it just, you know, it can be something not with much attachment to you, and then you just give. It give as needed, like to people who need them. It's like right when the relief operations, right? You give relief goods. That's 给. When you say 舍, it's like, for example, it's like the parents who give their, you know, their something that is very dear to them, but it's very precious to them, and then they give it to their children. It's something that's closely attached to them. That's my understanding. I don't know if I'm right or wrong, Shifu.
Auntie Marlene, how do you pronounce it in Hokkien?
Oh,
the 舍得.
You better ask 智毅法师 than or Yoling 法师.
My Hokkien is not good. Yoling Faster, maybe she know because she know the Hokkien of Philippines. I don't know the Hokkien of Philippines. She just laughed.
Maybe you have to ask your mom.
Okay. Okay, I'll ask my mom.
Yeah.
That is what like Marlene Sijie mentioned, the different, that is really different in Chinese. I think it's the same for the English. When we give, that is something what you have, and then you
Very
give
precious
away.
to you.
Yes, but that is only gay. That is only gay. But it's something that is you really precious to you. That is you really love it, and then but some people really need it, or some people really love it. Then you willing, without any second thoughts, without any expectation, then you just give away. Yeah, that is in terms of material, but in the Buddhism, that is really totally different. 舍 means 舍离 means you really detach from this human's material, from this phenomenon, and then we want to detach from the illusions. We want to detach from this human world. We want to go higher level, a different realm. That is really 舍离. 得 means something that of course we receive, but 给 is just something you just give. Whether you have or whether you don't have, then you buy it or whatever. But you really willing, the 舍 more on you willing to sacrifice yourself. If those who join our Faith-Team Book last Sunday of Rebel Miao Guang, or you can join, you can see, review the YouTube. She's mentioned that there's one, during the time she's only 12 years old. And then because she saw that because of the climate change, so she feel that the climate change is because of the adults made this planets have these so many problems. So she goes to sit in front of the NGO to fight for the rights as a child. At first, she do it herself, alone, and then Ube mentioned that. And then when she, after a few years, she managed to influence more people, the whole, I don't know how many people, but thousands of people willing to join her together for this, in order for the adults to hear their voice, do not destroy this planet anymore. We need to do the action now. So there is kind of, she willing to sacrifice herself, even though she knows she's alone. So just like the Venerable Yung Guang or all the Shifu, of course, I'm not here to mention we are so proud of ourselves, but we really give up something that you, maybe to you is pleasure. I'm so happy. Last year, Chinese New Year, one of my classmates, she invited me into our classmate, high school classmate group chat. And then one person, their question to me is, how can you willing to give out all the things? Then I asked her back, why you cannot? What you don't want to give out? What you don't want to give up? Then they cannot answer the questions. It's really something that is different, that we willing to volunteer ourselves to do whatever, to serve whoever we want to serve. So that is something sure. Of course, I'm not mentioning all the Shifu of Fo-Guang-Shan, but it's really all the monastic, even the Buddha. I'm sure all of us know the story of Buddha, even Venerable Master Hsing. If we really go read a lot of story of Venerable Master Hsing, how much he really do the resolutions for people to change the mindset about the Buddhism. And then now he only mentioned humanistic Buddhism. So now we, in the Fo-Guang-Shan, we not only have the Humanistic Buddhism Research Center, not only in Chinese, in Taiwan, we also have in Nantian, we also have in University of West, in West Country. So there is the English speaker now start to understand more about humanistic Buddhism. Of course, all of us know why Venerable Master Hsing want to make special, highly recommend using the word humanistic Buddhism. So for all of us here, how much we really to speak out for the humanistic Buddhism? How many of us really willing to give out ourselves? Of course, not really fight, not really quarrel, but I think Jessie, she do it in the first day when she wants to make her, to convince her parents to let her to be a Buddhist, to let her to practice Buddhist way. That is how she do it. So that is, she not only give away, she not only give, because she really receive. So she willing to give without any, with the brave. I can say she really brave enough to convince the family. And I think you can influence more people to join you so that you are not alone. Like the little girl, you can have more friends. Thank you. Peter, you like to add on for shelter and Gay? You muted.
I think I already put in the chat that probably the difference between giving and is to give up and to abandon, and yeah, so it's just more about just giving up your time to help out at the temple. That's giving up. So or giving up your wealth for the benefit of monastics or the benefit of the Triple Gem. So you kind of just relinquish, right? And then when you take your time to, when you use your body to go into the kitchen and you make the conchis, so you sell your body, you give the body as an offering to the sentient beings to help. So it's a bit different to giving, I think. Yeah, so it's more like abandoning, relinquish these to others. Thank you.
How about in Japanese?
Tipo.
How about in Japanese? You can recognize the Chinese character, right? The one
Yes,
in
but
the box. Can you find out
the difference,
Can you
tipo.
find in Japanese?
I'm not very I don't speak Japanese very well, so the context, I don't know how the differences in the context, but from the way you were explaining it, since kanji is from Mandarin, from Chinese characters, then it's probably the same context.
Thank you. Next, the floor.
Maybe Maid's internet is stuck.
This way. Is that her action the same?
Thank you very much for explaining. Now I understand that my giving is simply K. I still have to learn about. I knew when you wrote it, I knew there was a deeper meaning on it. So I'm just practicing giving, as in giving something, giving, I don't think I'm giving up something out of myself yet. So now I realize.
Erwin, if you will let one of your daughters renounce, that is sir, right, Sifu?
I think he willing. The problem is the wife.
Yes.
Right? It's not him. It's not him. He don't have problems.
Master P already knows me.
I think there is when I see, because you're here, so you know why need to give up and give away.
That's why I
think makes loss.
talking to them about the Dharma every week.
So your Dharma talk 10 minutes ba?
Yeah, we always watch the video from the Fokongsan English.
Which one? The Saturday?
Yeah, every week, right? But we're so behind, so we just follow along wherever we left off, and then next video. Yeah,
Or
so
you can-
sometimes we do it twice a week so that hopefully someday we will be able to catch up. We're like behind by 7 months. So we're watching the seven months ago video.
Will you discuss with them after the video?
Yes, they have to discuss also, so that I know that they're listening, that I know that they're picking up something. So they have to talk also.
Ube is laughing, man.
It's very effective. He is very effective.
Very not only effective, but he really applied it in his life.
Right.
Then Irvin, you can start to have a study group in your house.
Yeah.
And then invite the classmate, whoever like to join.
Yeah, they if their cousins are here, they join also. No choice.
Erwin, another good resource is the podcast of Venerable Miao Huang.
Oh yeah, that one I just listen.
Yeah, I mean, you can use that to discuss with your children.
Mm-hmm.
Because the end of the story, there is the moral of the story. the one is really very popular because Member Miao Guan really mentioned what is the moral of the story, so that we will not be out. And then sometimes sometimes we might not really know what is the moral of the story, but really the one is really very good. I think For Guan Shan now have more and more translations into English. So Irvin, you have more to catch up.
Yes. The others I watch by myself or, but this one I just reserve it with them.
Yeah, another channel that you can observe
Chan
that is
story,
from,
Chan book, Chan story. Chan
uh,
Heart. That is a very good book.
the one from University of West. I think once a month they have the talk with Professor Lancaster.
Mhm.
Right, Marlene Sujit.
Yeah,
Is it
but no, he already he concluded all his series of talk. Now he's giving a certificate class about the pre-era Buddhism or something, but it's a certificated class. He already concluded the series of talk.
Yeah, so more things for us to catch up.
Mhm.
So maybe Ube, you can follow what Irvin do at home. Let's watch the video together with choice and without choice. Just sit there and watch it.
My son is very firm with his faith, and that is because he has been educated by the Jesuits since he was a kid. So he's very firm with being a Catholic Christian.
You are not convince him. I mean, you are not convert him. Just practice the Buddhist way. That is the new generation.
Correct. Remember our lesson last Sunday
Yes,
with Venerable Miao Guang?
Hello?
Yes.
No, freeze. Hello?
Why? Yes, Arch, we can hear you. Continue. I heard you say please. About the priest. How? Why you cannot hear us?
Unmute odds.
Okay, there. And anyway, Ube, you know what? Just like your son, I came from a Jesuit school. I was educated by the Jesuits in Ateneo, right? So I was having over New Year, was it? Oh wait, yeah, New Year. I was having dinner with the bishop of Zamboanga Sibugay. I went home to Zamboanga Sibugay, and we had the bishop of the Zamboanga Sibugay come over for dinner. So I had dinner with him and my cousin, who is the congresswoman for that for District 2 in Zamboanga Sibugay, right across me, asked me like, "Oj, why are you Buddhist?" Because she knows that I was educated by the Jesuits. I came from Ateneo, right? So I'm just sharing this to you because you cannot. It's too early to say that your son might be boxed in, because I came from that kind of education also.
Yes.
So but somehow things happen to you, and the realizations dawned on me, and it just opened my heart to the teachings of the Buddha. So that's what I told in front of the bishop. So my cousin asked me, "What, Oj? So I don't understand. Why are you Buddhist?" She was asking. I said, "Because I'm confused. We're all Catholic, and some of us are Muslims also in my family. But in that particular table, that particular occasion,
Catholics.
they were Catholic. So we're all Catholics, and you're Catholic also, but you're Buddhist." I said, "And there's no confusion in my heart. Yeah, there's no confusion in my heart. So it's okay. You see, when I was studying the teachings from Jesus, so that was my first teacher. I learned universal love, right? Teaching is on the universal brotherhood, universal love. That was what Jesus was teaching. And so, but when I also started reading about the Buddha's teaching, it made me easier for me, huh? It was easier for me to understand it. It was easier for me to embrace the teachings of the Buddha because I had that foundation of
Yes.
embracing of that foundation of universal love from
Jesus.
Catholicism. So in my heart there was no conflict, and so I said, the mind people make conflicts. It's created by people, but when your heart is pure, when your mind is clear, there are no conflicts. You just embrace it. So like what the Venerable Master Singen said, in cases of differences, embrace the differences.
Yes.
Yeah. So I said, baka ganun yun. So, but anyway, that's how I explained it. And ano naman, the bishop was also a very good bishop because he was open to, I think because of his level also of understanding of the teachings of the Christ. No? So he's open to it. So he understood it. But my cousin did not understand.
Pero for me kasi, is Carlo will have to, faith kasi is a personal thing eh. So he has to come to Buddhism on his own terms.
Exactly.
Yes.
Because like in my experience, I came to it happened so naturally.
Yes.
Just the causes and conditions, and now I understood what it was. The causes and conditions arose, and it came together. So I was able to understand the teachings and more importantly, practice it on a daily basis.
Yes.
Right. So it has to come from the person. The awakening has to happen on a person.
Yes.
But yeah.
Correct. So that's that's what he has to go through. I mean, I cannot travel that road for him. Just like my mom could not convince me. I had to come to terms myself.
Ube,
Yes.
I have something to share with you.
Okay.
I also studied high school in a Jesuit school, Ateneo de Zamboanga. And at that time, like your son, I was very devout to the Christian faith. Then I studied college in De La Salle, also a Christian school run by the Christian Brothers. And now I'm a Buddhist. And it was because of my own self, because I was searching for answers on questions not answerable by my previous faith. And then as I was searching in life, I came through Buddhism. And then, well, just like what OJ has mentioned, it made me appreciate and understand more what Christianity is teaching.
Yeah, maybe like what Ube mentioned, that is, it has to wait until the person go through the journey by himself, or that is when he wants. But in Buddhism, we always say that 创造因缘, create the affinity. So that is, we can create the affinity, or we can create the opportunity to discuss with them. For example, the climate change now. We can discuss, from your viewpoint, so what is your climate change? From the faith, from the scenario now. And then for my faith, in Buddhist way, how we do this and that, and how we face this kind of climate change, and how, even maybe for Ube, sorry, we keep mentioning about you, then maybe you can say, you see, grandmom, if without the Buddhist or without the Buddhism study group, how can she survive for 2 years without going out? I'm sure your mom very difficult time, cannot go out for 2 years. It's too hard for Laurentia. It's really very difficult for the old people, for the senior, for the not going out for 2 years. It's too hard. Then how she survived because of study. So there is the time you can encourage him to find more. Or why not you try to understand what grandma doing or something like that. I think they love the grandma and grandpa.
Yeah. He's the first grandchild. So he really also grew up in my parents' home.
Maybe there's another way that is we love our parents, we love our grandparents. Are we really love them? Are we really understand them? Are we really give what they need? Yeah, there is something you can ask instead of he asks you question. Why not you ask him questions? Then challenge him. Give him challenges. Before that, you have to challenge yourself first.
Yeah.
We are so
Yes,
happy.
so-
Our speaker is back.
Yes.
Finally, we wait for you.
We got disconnected 2 times, 3 times.
Can't hear you anymore.
Yeah, unmute na.
Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, sorry, I got disconnected 2 times, 3 times. I hope I didn't miss anything.
Wala, we were waiting for you.
Actually, Shefu, my mother is the one that brought us into the Catholic Church. She was a very active member of the Catholic Women's League. And when the reason why she moved to Buddhism, especially with the Fokwang, is because when my grandparents died. So again, in times of sorrow comes the blessing, because she found her understanding and her solace, her answers in Fokwang Shan, with the teachings in Fokwang Shan. So that's how she converted to Buddhism.
That's very
This
similar
happened
to,
to you also, right?
Yes.
Also, Alvin.
yes,
I
that's
think many
very
people.
similar to what happened to me.
Mm.
Now, when I started studying Buddhism, I realized that there's so much to learn and there's so much benefit that we can gain out of it, that I have gained at that time. So in fact, at that time, I started doing, even at the time, very early on, I started to discuss Buddhism with Regel, with two other guys who were interested at that time. So four of us would meet at the temple and talk about, at that time we used the core teachings of Venerable Master Xing Yun. Now, over time, I realized that why do I have to wait for me to die before my children will realize or learn from it? So I said, I better start teaching them so that hopefully they will benefit from it starting now, not when I die. So that's the reason.
Maybe we can learn from this one. That is, you don't wait until I die, then you come to understand me. You should understand me while I'm still alive. Maybe you can talk.
I think Sheful, everything is living by example. So when he sees me with my mom and how these things are unfolding now, I think gradually he'll come into it. Because the generation of today, you cannot force them. It's not like our generation where, your mom just takes a look at you and you have to, right? Now the generation is totally different.
That's
So
why we need to challenge them by giving
yeah,
them questions.
yeah.
Then let them start to think. And then now the information is too much, they can find out anywhere, everywhere. Or just now, Ube, you mentioned about the grandparents.
Yes.
We also have a special article for your grandma when she passed away,
Yes.
your father's side, right?
Yes, correct.
Because of your mother teach us the 小包
Xiao Pao.
万灵师节的小包
Yeah.
of Bacolod. Irving, you know,
Right.
right? Bacolod 小包.
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah. She only
bit.
taught Venerable Yongke.
Yes,
Remember?
but she passed down to the staff of Yen Tong Temple in Bacolod. And because of that, then we start. The story is because of the Siopao, then we have the president of Kwang Ming College. That is Dr. Korea. And that is how the story coming in. So that's why we have such a big article when she died. But is 110, is it? What's her age when she died? I know
She in her documents, it is written that she was born in 1912, but they believe that that document may not be correct, so she could be older. So when she passed away, if you compute 1912 to 2018, how many years is that?
106.
Yes, and then in the Chinese, we add for every generation that is there, right? Like she had great grandkids, so you add like a year and a year and a year, something like that. Yeah.
Yes. That is what the topic for tonight. When we give, when we are generous to give something, we don't have the intention like want to gain something. I'm sure your grandmom, she don't have this intention. She just want to help the shifu.
You want to hear something funny, Shifu?
Oh.
She did not even share her recipe for siopao to my mother.
Yes, I heard that.
Yes, but for the temple, she shared.
Yes.
She taught my mother, but she taught, like, you know, the old Chinese ladies, she would teach without teaching, like just like that. So my mom really didn't get the proportions.
Yeah, right. So that's why because of the siopao, and then we have this so much affinity, and so many people really miss it. Even me, I miss it so much also. And then now we cannot have it anymore. It's really too hard to. It's really very hard. You know, right? I was in Bacolod before. It's really very hard to make the siopao. Maybe
when my brother, the one right after me, he has somehow gotten the dough. So when he makes the siopao and he makes the dough, I can ask my sister-in-law Chin Chin to set aside the plain pao for you.
Why you only give me the plain pao?
Because he does not eat vegetarian.
So you can tell him this one, the great grandma teach is vegetarian to Shifu, so he has to make for Shifu vegetarian. Don't just the cabbage. Only the cabbage inside. Change to cabbage. Carrot. That's all. Don't need we don't put the veggie meat also.
Okay.
If he need veggie meat, I can provide.
Okay.
So that is how to turn the vegetarian is very simple. It's not as what others people thought. But now it's really very convenient. If he made a good dough, don't just give me plain pao. Even I love it also, but not plain. Others who like to have ingredients inside.
Okay, Shifu. Noted.
Noted. Okay. So maybe I will have siopao for New Year naman.
That one I cannot promise because my brother is moody.
Oh, okay. Maybe we'll see when we have the great affinity to have such a great. Oh, then that is the famous in Manila already. So that is what our topic for tonight. We give without any second thought, and that's kind of a generosity of everybody. Detach. So you teach your brother detach to the meat.
No, I remind Chin Chin to whisper to her husband.
Okay. Something like that.
Yes.
So maybe special plain one for Zhi Yi Fa Shi, the one mixed
Yes.
one with Master Yong Guang. I think
and
he will
Master
have
Yolin.
all the master, of course.
Yes.
I mean, my really special plain one. I'm okay for plain. I love it. You know, I really
Okay.
pick out the ingredient and then I eat the dough only.
Or maybe I ask Master Yolin for the filling that she puts in the mini pao.
Yolin
love
Fa Shi, she's
Yolin
here.
Fasha, she makes the yummy vegetarian mini pao. So the ingredient inside we can put in the big pao.
The one we sell last night, one pack.
Yeah.
Oh. Yolin Fa Shi, maybe you can help Ube to satisfy her desire to have different kind of the xiu bao, vegetarian xiu bao.
I will ask the cook because I don't know. I only know how to eat and how to sell. I'm good in fundraising only.
But my brother also came up with the recipe for that dough, and the dough is really very similar to my amma. So I have that. I can also share with Yolin Fasu.
I'm the tester. You tell your brother, let me test first.
Okay.
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 Sifu, I have a question, Sifu.
I don't ask you about anymore, huh?
I was going to ask if it's the same one that we have in Cebu. The one that we're making.
Aname,
Is it the same? Yes, anime. Is it the same? Different?
No. The dough is really different.
Okay.
Yes.
Maybe when I go to Manila.
Yes. Mitch?
Now I want Shopao. Anyway, Sherwin, I think it's 9:20. I don't know.
So yeah, if there's nothing left, we can end the session. It's 9:24 already. So we'll do the dedication of merits. Okay. Palms join. Thank you very much. Video, turn on your video for a picture. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, one more lotus flower. 1, 2, 3. Thank you very much. Next week, we have a guest.
Thank you.
Master. What's the name for next week?
Venerable Zhi Quan.
Zhi Quan. Chuan.
from
圈
England.
圈
Master Yong Hui
Ah, 知权
from England. Next week topic will be letting go.
Oh.
Letting go, Chopin naman.
Letting go of Siopao.
Okay.
Okay, we will meet new
Bye.
master